We would like to take a moment to express our gratitude to our former teammates, colleagues, and friends who have worked so hard over the years to bring the LCS and these incredible games to life. This show is dedicated to you and players everywhere.
Welcome back to the LCS. We are in the LCS waiting room at the moment. You can see the timer up in the top left for when the games will start. But in the meantime, we have a new face. Well, you've been on the LCS before, but new face to 2024 LCS.
I have. This is my first time on the show. Thanks for having me, everybody. I know that there was an announcement post on socials. I'm probably disappointing people with my attire. I decided to not go with the Star Guardian Braum cosplay this time around.
Yeah, but it could come out at any moment.
It could come out at any time, yeah.
So
you just have it in the bag somewhere?
Just watch, yeah.
It's actually under these
the
clothes
couch
right now. You just reach it.
It's my watch, actually. I spin it, I hit it, and I transform, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but for those of you who have been living under a rock, the LCS is on the live patch.
Yes.
So you're watching all these other regions and you're seeing these support item Lucians. We're not going to see that tomfoolery here. We're going to see nothing but exactly what you're playing when you press play in solo queue. And for a quick reminder, here's the one sheet for the 14.2 patch notes.
It's so exciting because this is the first time that we're seeing the live patch being played in a professional region. That's the thing I'm most excited for. So the changes, honestly, like it's a lot of buffs you can see on the screen. More buffs than nerfs overall.
Yeah, and the thing I hope is that players are actually going to come out and be innovative. I know in covering NACL, you see a lot of things like, for example, the Darius strikes my mind just because Quacker used it as an EDR counter this past week in NACL, and it looked really good. But then the other thing I'm looking at that I've mentioned ad nauseum over socials and in another show I do with Kelsey Moser is Karma and Ezreal.
Karma enjoyers, rejoice!
Rise up.
She's broken! The triple flex is in action. She can be played support, mid, top lane. Of course, her scaling on her Q. I mean, just her general scaling it has been boosted, so now she's going to be able to really abuse Malignance. So expect that.
Yeah,
We're going to be talking about her.
We'll talk about that now, and then we'll get to the rest of it since,
Let's do it.
we brought it up already. So the changes to Karma is increases in the AP ratio on both the Q and the E by 0.2. Like, that's a pretty big AP ratio buff. But then the big thing is when you combo it with Malignance, since it reduces your ultimate CDR, you get many more frequent empowered abilities, which also have a giga-charged AP ratio.
Exactly. So people are just really rushing the haste alongside of Malignance.
Yeah.
The one thing that Malignance is known for is the fact that it does not have a cooldown on its passive. So you've probably experienced that when you've gone into ARAM and Teemo shrooms are just wrecking you.
Yeah, let's pull up, this is a Twitter clip from Vigar V2. Sometimes he has these like condensed gameplay videos that are just the highlights. So he pulled off Malignance Karma in a non-ranked game, but still this is a little ridiculous display of Karma's abilities.
It's gross.
Yeah, this is just disgusting. The initial clip had him also like cackling over it in that first play, which was pretty funny.
We would pull it straight, but there's some music that we weren't able to have. But I really love it when he posts videos like this. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's really disgusting, especially like if you think about how she lanes too. Yes, you would expect the ult Q, because it also slows and sticks you in the Malignance passive, to be the one that's most used. It's the sustain that Karma already has with ult W, the chain, that makes it really disgusting to play against. I've been watching a lot of streams with players, pro players, and of course just general solo queue players that have been abusing the champion. And it's frustrating. There was one time. That's insane. There's one time where I saw, like, I think it was Pobelcher that, like, TP top lane with, no, it was actually Spica. Spica TP top lane with, like, 20% HP, but it's like, I'm not gonna die in this 2v2 fight because even though I'm 20% HP, like, I'll alt W with shield and everything. It's just really annoying to play against.
Yeah, I think the big thing is that we already had seen Karma, obviously, with Seraphine in a double support itemization lane, which we're going to go over later because that is dead. But you already talked about it, Raz, how we were like, okay, Karma is already strong. Like, she was already in a pretty good spot where I think she could have been picked prior to this patch, and then she got these insane buffs that work so well with new itemization.
Yeah, the base value on the shield also increased as well as the AP ratio on the shield, so it's more like it's not meant to be a buff to like the really annoying tank Karma that people used to see, but it does make the AP wildly effective.
Agreed.
So who plays it then? Which of our mid laners or top laners do you think pulls out Karma?
No one's going to be able to play it because I think it's going to be permaban.
Oh,
really?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Really?
Because also, I mean, there were quite a few changes that I think worked alongside Karma. So I talked about it being a flex. Also, if you played a bot lane, guess what? Ezreal also got a pretty massive buff as well, and Ezreal Karma has been a lane. So I think that if you can play it, you should play it. The jungle meta as well. We've been seeing a lot of Xin Zhao, and I think in general, if you have a carry jungler, it makes it so much easier to play off 2v2s.
Anything else that stands out to you in this patch that you think we might see?
I hope we get to see the Darius counter into the Udyr. Gwen as well. In Challengers, we have a lot more counters into the Udyr that we saw last week. And I know that here Udyr had a really high win rate in LCS, but it's actually been struggling at the NACL level.
I think we might see Hui as well.
True.
It was bugged on live, but the players on Tourney Realm were able to play it this entire time. So we haven't seen that much of it, but I think a team that's looking to, I don't know, have a bit slower of an early laning phase might be able to pull it out.
Yeah, I mean, Hui, really complicated champion. So like there's questions on which mid laners are willing or able to play it. There have been a few like Jojo that during preseason have just been spamming it. So like I think they will be untouched by the fact that it was not playable for 2 days on the solo queues live servers. Of course, it was playable in scrims as you mentioned. The Twisted Fate ones are the ones that I'm really interested in.
So it's ADTF. The Twisted Fate patch notes are about this long.
I saw them and I was like, nah, I'm gonna go to the next one.
It's like, apparently they kind of build AD sometimes now. That's the takeaway.
I've been seeing like Kraken, Gwinsu's Rage Blade. Of course, Rapid Fire Cannon has always been the classic. It's just it's a stronger lane, of course. I don't know which team is willing to pick it because if you're going AD Twisted Fate, then of course now you got to think about having like an AP jungler or something like that.
I can sell you on Insanity. Because he was already, I think he was already a Twisted Fate enjoyer. I think the big thing with ADTF though is that more like with this AD build, you really have to make the most of how you're playing out your side lanes, right? Because he's typically going to be side laning, but without the kind of, if you're not going the Zhonya's like Lichbane to, ult Zhonya's into a fight, I think that's kind of a transformation of how he generally is played and how he can rejoin for team fights. So it requires an attention to detail in terms of how you're side laning, because again, you're going to be auto attacking a lot more. So I'm curious. I think Insanity could do it though. Like not only is Insanity just willing to slam certain things mid as counters or things that he likes, but also he is really good on that champion just generally.
Yeah, and on the dive, I know Medios was talking about the build path. It's not like the AD LeBlanc where you have this hyper mobility to get away. So playing TF in a side lane, a little more dangerous. I like it for the implication of how do you react to the side lane pushes that we've seen so far. Udyrs that are going up to tier 2 turrets and you can't touch them because they're just going to run away. Well, now you can TF ult behind them, maybe slow them down and actually punish some of these split pushers. Yeah,
and the funny thing is there's just been so many changes. For the players, especially the idea of there being no preseason technically. Like people are really just experimenting right now. So a lot of the players that I've talked to are like, there's just a lot to work on and learn at the moment.
We're still trying to figure out how to prioritize void grubs. And like when to certain teams already in the LCS, not just LCS, but globally are still figuring out like when do we prioritize these in relation to back timers, do we start early Drake stacking, stuff like that.
Not even mentioning champions that are already being picked if they should continue to be picked, like Lucian.
Yeah.
And we're on Lucian Watch. And LEC was also on Lucian Watch for what it's worth. Before today, this was a 0-4 and a 0 number of wins in the LCS and the LEC. There was the first Lucian win today. We'll say it's, I think, fairly likely to stay at maybe even 0-4 because we're on the new patch and you can't do double support item. You can't do the Bloodsong Lucian to go with the Milio or the Nami.
Yeah.
I also want to call out something Milio said on the dive, that he just doesn't think it's a good pick because if you're investing in Enchanter plus Lucian, who's not a hyper carry, into mid lane poke, he just straight up doesn't like it. So we'll see how that develops, but we're going to be on Lucian Watch all day because of that big goose egg that he has.
That's fair. And I think the majority of the criticism, even Meteos' critique, was like how difficult it is to just play. Like, because a lot of it is just like, okay, it's Spring Split, early Spring Split. A lot of the teams are pretty poor at being able to coordinate an end games to begin with. So now that you have a pick that has its windows, if you can't take the opportunity in windows, or if you're just like really messing up in how to play it out in mid game, then it really falls flat. I think you should still play it. If it's great in the meta, you should continue to still abuse it and try and just get better around it, because we've been hammering in like basically our team's leveling up, and we've heard the same criticism with other picks like Udyr before. So I'm like, if you are struggling on it, get better, because the teams around you are definitely going to get better on it. So
Bet your Shopify plays.
Wow.
There it is.
Shopify Rebellion plays the Lucian.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as we keep mentioning on patch 14.2, I wanted a way to show people, like maybe in an interesting way, what's changed. My pitch to just read the entire patch notes during the entirety of Waiting Room was declined. So the pitch that was
I wonder why.
accepted-
Did we get a fireplace behind
Yeah, the pitch
you?
that was accepted was actually live patch bingo. So we're going to go through, it's fairly complicated, but each of you have made a bingo card
Yes.
that you're going to be following along during the show. They're also going to be out on Twitter. And Emily, you're up first. So talk me through the different bingo lines that you think are maybe most likely or most unlikely to be picked and why. And this is live patch bingo. So there's got to be
up
something
there.
about the live patch that pulls
Sadly,
these up.
I still think this is going to be... I feel like this is almost a free space.
Yeah.
You know, like, I feel like we're not going to get rid of this anytime soon. Sadly, I think I wanted to, some of these are just like, I want to call out Fudge for doing a really good job with Udyr. I think a lot of the times when we see Udyr's not having a high win rate, it's because of the tank build or because they're not proxying at the right times, not pushing the wave at the right time. So shout out to Fudge for that. I want to see more level ones. Ez Karma bot is going to see if we get it, you know,
So
if it doesn't get banned.
first Drake timer within a minute of spawn. So last week, no one took it before 6 minutes?
That I did not check, but I want to see more. I want to see more teams do it because this and this are kind of like I'm still seeing LCS teams really trying to figure out like how do we prio grubs? When do we deny grubs? We saw like River, I think in the first 100 Thieves game had a good thing on it, but I noticed that some of the first Drake timers in certain games are pretty late, and I still think Drake stacking is really strong. So I'm
so happy that a bunch of mine overlap with yours.
What's the least likely one here, Emily?
I don't think we'll see the MF. I saw it in LPL. It was actually really fun. I think she's pretty strong. We saw it on the previous patch, right? Because they're on 14-2. But I think her in situations could be fun. I don't think she's like as broken as certain people think, but I think she's really strong. And I was surprised to see a lack of Renata and a lack of Aphelios last week. Both champions, I think, are still like pretty strong in this patch. So if we do move away from Lucian lanes, I'm expecting to see more Aphelios. I really want to see the Brand jungle. It's fun. It's disgusting.
Maybe we'll see it game one. Blaber could do it. Rez, I want to see yours.
All right, if she's walking, I'm walking. I'll be a little quicker on this one. I'm trying. No, because
why?
Because mine, as you could tell, is complicated.
You don't have as many pictures on yours.
That is true. A lot of words, so it's a lot of word vomit. So like, free Kalista, it's been banned constantly, 100% of the time.
So all that has to happen is Kalista doesn't get banned, and that
yes,
counts?
just free her. Honestly,
It doesn't have to get picked.
Honestly, it will get picked. But if it doesn't get picked, she's free.
50-minute game?
I've seen some disgusting
Why
things.
are you cursing us?
So we have Corky, we have Azir. I saw a Hwei game from Nemesis when he was playing go 60-minute, because even though his team was weaker, he was just full clearing the wave with
He was just weighing the wave?
Yes, he was weighing the wave. so that might just happen. Vi will in. So I think that one's also a free one. I think that one's my best chance. I put down B-Boy, Essence Reaver, Ezreal.
He's starting today for Shopify.
Yes, he is. So that's just like a tidbit for you guys as he's going to be playing later on today. The builds usually have been varying with Ezreal, but now that he's gotten a higher scaling on W and everything, that I think that we're going to be seeing the Essence Reaver build. And B-Boy is an Ezreal player. So like, there's a few things that I like there. Nico Nocturne anyways, River Jarvan anyways, disregard patch.
What is anyways?
It's like, disregard the patch. Even though it's live patch bingo, they will just slam this anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
And then, this is for you, Jat. Sniper jersey tuck.
Yes, he's gonna do it. That's like a free space.
This is looking pretty good. Game 2 pause.
Because
Game 2 pause. The people in Game 2, you guys are the perpetrators. I know you well.
And point out that if you get this line,
yes,
we get a 50-minute game and a Game 2 pause.
This is my best chance to win.
Okay, does the pause count towards the 50 minutes? Like, is
no, not at all.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Jack can decide that one.
Really quick, what's your most likely line?
Ooh, I think it's probably going. This is a tough one.
Yeah.
No layers.
You made the card, so.
God, it's probably going to be this line right here. No laner uses the Shenanigans rune stat.
Shot.
Huh? The Game 2 pause? Have you seen? Look.
I hate you. Okay, Kangas, go up.
That's my guarantee.
I'll go up.
That's my guarantee.
I just gotta say, I think everybody was a little too tame with theirs, so mine are a little.
So
I got
yours
a lot
is
of
the
fun.
impossible bingo. Then,
Mine's the
or what?
impossible one. There's
No
especially that
pauses.
bottom line. I went all 100% down there. Also, shout out to Jensen for giving us all the free space. I think that's
Which is also not even that guaranteed.
That's not that guaranteed.
If we're booing Raz, I think we should all applaud no pauses. I think that should be our goal for the weekend.
It's not happening, but good job.
Also, something we haven't talked about, the Gragas changes. I think Bwipo picks Gragas at some point this weekend. Yes, Emily?
Mr. Kangas, I can't help but notice you have power over one of these, which is casters argue over grub names.
So my initial one I submitted was way too easy because we pick our own. So I was like, you know what, let's make it harder. That's one that I kept because I can guarantee that happens.
Can they even
You're
hover
cheating.
Smolder? I don't think they can do that.
I think they can hover it, right? They just can't play it?
That's a good question. I don't think they can do it.
I think somebody
There's
hovers
a chance
it.
they can hover.
There's a chance? Okay.
Yeah.
That one's your least likely line.
Yet, but they should be able to hover it. A lot of these you'll see are similar, though. Like Insanity Locke's a unique pick, kind of similar.
What do you
that.
define as a unique pick?
Something that he or nobody else, no other mid laner has
Because he's
locked in
only
yet.
played two
He's played
picks.
two, yes.
So
but
that's
no other
like-
mid laner. No other mid.
okay.
I believe 7 or 8 mids have been locked in so far. Yeah.
Why
I
do you
like
think...
I was gonna say I like the Ivern jungle. We just saw that in LEC.
Yep, I'm a big believer of the Kelsey Moser Church. She believes this is one of the most broken junglers, no matter what the patch is, and I think somebody's got to lock it in.
The most interesting one here is Experimental Hexblade having 100% presence. So you think there's one in every game? Why?
I think there's one in every game. I think that the Nocturne priority is so high, and we saw it does work on the Zeri. You haven't seen it yet in LCS, but the Vayne locking in it as well. I think that there's a lot of champions that can't abuse it.
Okay, easiest line.
There we go. Easiest line.
Easiest line.
Well, it's got to be the one that I have control over, right? And somebody's going to hover
Something in
Smolder if they can. I don't know if it's possible. So I think probably this. I think we get one Shen game. That's why it's a 100% win rate.
Shen is a weird. You have some weird things on here.
Oh, yeah.
You also do not believe in players, which.
One player admits to not reading the patch.
This one, maybe this is the easiest
One
one.
No, I think
admits,
I think your
then-
middle horizontal line is likely.
Yeah, true.
Because I believe
And again, no pauses.
I believe in
That's
the
the one that we
integrity of the live.
That one's a bit make-believe, but I accept it.
Wait, Jet, where's yours?
I didn't make one.
What?
Yeah, I figured that would be enough.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. And it was. I feel like that was plenty.
He wants to roast our opinions.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to
exactly.
put his own out
So
there.
call out to the fans. What are you most excited to see on the live patch? Fill out your own bingo card by heading over to the LCS official Twitter. Apparently, that's also called X now. And while we wait to see what picks the teams cook on patch 14.2 Immortals, we're cooking up something else entirely in this content piece. Take a look.
No one's calling it X.
God, that was disgusting. Oh. Hey guys, it's Armeo. I'm doing a blindfolded taste test today. No, I don't like this at all.
I don't eat vegetable.
I'm not eating this. That smells terrible.
I swear to God, if it's a pickle, I'm gonna spit out right away. Yeah. You gave me onion like this? I hate onion.
Oh, I hate it. Oh, I think I'm crying now.
Whoa!
Oh my God. I wanna go home, man.
Thank you for that. And Kangas, I have no idea what this is.
Yeah.
You don't know.
I've just been told Kangas is doing a thing.
You already told me, and I saw it on NACL.
I have a question for everybody here.
Okay.
Have you heard the story of the Wi-Fi wizard?
I have. So
You
I
have.
cheated.
Have you heard? Do you know what the Wi-Fi wizard is?
A little bit.
So the Wi-Fi wizard is a legend in the Challengers League. You know him as Masu.
Okay.
We know him by another name. So we have something to demonstrate here. This is the ping to performance matrix for everybody at home.
Okay.
So for most players, a traditional player looks like this, right? So we have the 0 down here, 150 ping up at the top. The higher the ping, the lower the performance, right? So if you have that 150 ping, you can't perform very well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then as you go along, the lower the ping, the higher the performance. So let's put this up to just like a 10. You know?
Okay.
For most players, it looks like this. It's a nice straight line. You want to be down there because that's going to be the highest performance. But there's a player named Masu who's had his debut last weekend.
Yeah.
And his story is that he actually played. He went from Diamond to Challenger on 150 ping, playing on Wi-Fi in Canada. He tried out for FlyQuest and made it onto their Challengers team on 150 ping, playing from Wi-Fi in Canada. And he played the first 3 weeks of NACL playing on 150 ping, Wi-Fi in Canada. Didn't even tell his team, didn't tell his coaches, didn't tell anybody. They found out and his coaches were like, what are you doing? Why are you playing on 150 ping on Wi-Fi? We have instances then where when he came finally to LA, he was pre-cleansing Ash arrows. He was pre-dodging abilities, right? So Masu actually inverts this matrix. And he looks more like this. So the higher his ping, the higher his performance, because this is where he's the most comfortable with. So I think that everyone should go a little easy on Masu for his week 1 performance.
Well,
saw a couple of
some players were complaining of lag.
Yes, but we're going to
So it's been benefiting
It's going to get worse this week, is what you're saying.
Yes. No, I don't want to put it that way. Point is, though, the higher the ping, the higher the performance from Masu. So everyone watch out for the Wi-Fi wizard.
Okay, thank you very much for that.
Okay.
Any questions?
I feel educated.
Any
I
questions?
feel educated.
I have a follow-up question with a completely different topic that relates to this whiteboard.
Did they just give him
There's
poor
already
Wi-Fi when he was
drawings on these
in
whiteboards.
the
I don't know.
FlyQuest house?
There's a poor on mine. Anyway, what we're trying to do now is everyone needs to write down which player they think will benefit the most.
This just made it worse.
Yeah.
Wait, what player?
Wait, the secret, the back.
And then we'll
the back
reveal.
of the marker. Look at that.
What player?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, what? That's
Yeah,
weird.
The back of the marker.
Okay.
works.
There's no eraser on this one, so I'm going to
I thought we
start
were doing teams.
this one
Damn.
because I've
Okay.
already talked to him.
Also,
And
Kangas, that totally just messed up mine even more.
yeah, we need a
Mine
little.
looks great.
I need a better pen, but if you can read this,
Okay.
it says Blaber.
All right.
Just because this dude, so I can share a little anecdote. I had Blaber, luckily, on JLXP this last week, and I was asking him if it's a buff or nerf to him as a player. He thinks for him it's a buff. He's not sure if it's a buff for him as a team. This was the anecdote, though. When Neela came out, he played like 10 games of it in dual queue with Zeyzal, thought it was really broken, went up to Berserker, said, Berserker, I think this is really good, we should play it. Never touched it. Then, fast forward 2 months, Gumayushi plays 1 game of it. And Berserker's like, I think this Neela pick is pretty good. We should
Yeah,
try
I
it."
want to try that out now. Yeah, let's see what it's all about.
But now, with no LCK or LPL to model yourself after, maybe Blaber going up and saying, I think this brand jungle is pretty strong right now, is enough.
Okay.
Ooh,
So we'll see.
that's good.
Yeah, we have to be
All
the trendsetters now.
Okay, I have my answer.
Okay,
right.
go Raz.
I hope I'm not stealing yours.
Am I?
Insanity. And take a look at my drawing.
Insanity.
Take a look at mine, your stubbly
my
face.
That's beautiful. I
what is
also
that?
said insanity. I'll pick a different one then.
Well, go Raz.
No, that's good.
Why? You can just both give your reasonings. We don't need to.
Okay, we can go for the. So for my reasoning, I mean, we've already seen him just break out the Zac items, or the Zac with like just the newer tank items.
Yeah.
I think it was Hollowed Radiance. In general, I think he's always been a really creatively minded mid laner on a team that's willing to pick anything that he wants. Like even in playoffs, he was like, yeah, I'm just going to go with the Lucian pick. In general, if he thinks that it works and his team is going to support him, which they generally do, he's going to slam the pick. So I think mostly for that reason.
So mostly just you think he's a flexible enough player. It's nothing about the patch itself.
Yes.
Like, oh, this changed.
I think-
That's just who he is.
Insanity.
Yeah.
He's just going to be able to be
Yeah.
flexible.
I mean, I think he has the personality where he's not afraid to do these things,
Yeah.
right? Because like a lot of players will wait, again, they'll see what's being played, even if it's literally just looking at solo queue win rates in like on the super server, on the Korean solo queue server for 14-2. I think Insanity has a lot of things that he has kind of pre-workshopped almost, or he's like, this could be good. I'll try this. And because that's a part of his personality. If I had to pick another one, since Raz picked the first one, another player I'd want to call out is Bwipo. I think he's really thoughtful to how he approaches patches, and even when you even if I disagree with something Bwipo says, he always has really good reasoning behind it, and he's very he's like thought it out, right? And so I think, especially with like Gragas coming back, we've already seen him workshopping different Udyr builds. I think he's really comfortable with the Udyr. I really liked how he invaded on top side when he had it to help out Inspired, harass Boogie off of red. So I think, that is another player that I think will benefit.
And that's kind of the direction I went with it. I looked at the patch notes and said, what are the changes that I think will actually give a buff to some of these players? So I picked Meech, The change from the double support item is a big buff for 100 Thieves bot lane. We saw the double support both
Even
games.
though their only win was with the double support item.
Yes, but I think that this enables not only Meech better as a player, because he was playing Senna, he was playing Seraphine. I don't think that those are champions that will enable Meech to actually be impressive. He didn't have that impressive of a week 1, and I think part of that is because of what he was put on, what the team wanted to play through. If you have double enchanter support items, you kind of have to play weak side. You can't try and dominate through that lane, and I'm hoping that this change enables them to play through bot side. I think it's a buff for Meech and a buff for 100 Thieves as a whole.
Fair enough. Let's pull up predictions for the day. We got 4 games of LCS action coming.
Is there any spice?
I got a fun fact after this.
No, there's no spice.
God, no one
so, the most likely flip-flop to me would actually be Fly
That's
TL.
what I was thinking.
Yes.
Because preseason, I actually put TL above Fly in the power rankings, and then like one loss just suddenly means they can't beat FlyQuest. Anyway, so I think that's actually going to be a close game. And a fun fact about C9 versus Dignitas. The last time these guys beat us, says C9 Lol, they used to be called Clutch Games.
That is insane.
Oh my God.
And
how long ago was that?
2019.
Oh.
So our stats guy went back through the books.
Oh, we fact-checked them.
18 games in a row.
Oof.
In best of ones. 18 best of ones in a row. Cloud9 has beaten Dignitas.
That's a lot.
That's
Yikes.
insane.
They haven't beat them this decade.
Beginning of a rivalry?
Is it a rivalry?
That is not a rivalry. That is the opposite.
As I'm saying this, I'm a KT fan, and they just got dumpstered by T1 the other day. Yeah.
It's like a rivalry between the hammer and the nail. That's the rivalry.
Sometimes the nail gets, but I guess
Sometimes.
it breaks.
Yes, it breaks, I guess.
The hammer still crushes it. That's
Oh my God. Well, as we wrap up for Waiting Room, Jat is going to get us hyped for today's games. Check it out. Are you?
You are?
Yeah.
Right now?
Okay, let's check it out.
I have a
Let's see it.
message. It's from earlier this week.
I'm distressed to hear about the recent tear in the bot lane with double support items. It's an unfortunate thing that has spread across every competitive league in the world. EMEA, LCK, LPL, and even LCS. Fortunately, we have a solution. In the LCS, it's played on live patch, 14.2. I call upon all regions around the world, all viewers around the world, watch the LCS. Help put an end to this bot lane tear. Thank you. Now watch this drive.
How long did you have to hold that? Did you actually stand still?
Oh, I mashed it. Yeah, it was longer than that. I was trying to replicate.
Where were you looking?
Video.
You and Cubby.
Where was I looking? I was looking to the fans.
Oh, to the people.
Reporters,
That makes
yeah,
sense.
The camera was on the side, but there's reporters on the golf course asking about the LCS.
Okay, naturally.
Because we're on live patch.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really big.
Yes.
Yeah, so people wanted to know.
Yeah. Actually, would have loved to have heard more of the questions from the reporters on that
exactly.
one.
Yeah, well, I mean, every week we're going to do something to, for those of you who don't know, that's actually like a commercial that runs on LEC and other broadcasts to get people tuned into the LCS. But like, I was a fan of that one.
That one is a good one. I liked it.
You also put a lot of effort, you know, it's like off campus and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
When did you film that?
Tuesday. So I do want to pull up the prediction graphic one more time. I want to talk a little bit about the games that we're seeing for the rest of the day, because obviously everyone does have C9 over Dignitas, but specifically game 3 with FlyQuest versus TL. That's, I think, the closest matchup. So if the game turns, since we all predicted FlyQuest, I want to know if the game turns, why would it turn in Team Liquid's favor?
I think TL, again, this is a team I'm looking at when I'm thinking in my head, NA rediscovers Aphelios. I think TL is a team. I think in general, again, I brought this up last week when we were talking about them, but when you saw them have success last year, it was through these kind of pushing bot lanes or more bot lane centric. They have not been that really thus far this year. So I'd be curious to see if they'd bust out like an Ezreal Karma, if Karma ends up getting through, an Aphelios, like something that they can maybe play around bot lane as the carry a little bit more.
Yeah, and in your interview with Blaber in the JLXP podcast, the fact that I guess they had struggled with Team Liquid the most in Scrim.
Yeah.
Like that is always something that has surprised me. But I mean, like just in general, we kind of undersell or undervalue how strong of a lane Yon and Core JJ are. So I feel like that's going to be the biggest test to the FlyQuest bot lane.
Yeah, and I'm going to be tracking Jensen versus APA just because Jensen had a really good first week. APA is clearly trying to, show himself as a control mage standout. That's kind of been Jensen's role for like 9 years.
Yeah.
So if he could outperform Jensen, that would be an incredible step forward for Team Liquid. But we'll have to see. That's game 3 of the day. That's going to do it for us in the waiting room. Let's send it to the stage to get us into the show.
LCS and Key of Fan Day. We got 4 great games for you today, starting off with Dignitas taking a swing at the early dominance of Cloud9. Next up, the Young Guns at 100 Thieves challenge the defending champions, Energy Kia. Afterwards, APA and Team Liquid are looking to clap back against Bwipo and an undefeated FlyQuest. And finally, each looking for their first win here in Week 2, Immortals versus Shopify Rebellion. Our first match of the day features Cloud9, so let's take a listen to how the super team synergy is developing.
Can I use the restroom? I'm going first. Yeah, otherwise we can play rock, paper, scissors in there. I'm going second.
Why do we have to go one at a time? What does that matter?
We can talk, so I don't know. Okay.
It doesn't make sense.
It's one ref per player. What if we all just in the same stall? It's like kind of like team bonding if you think about it, or no? Like, it low-key is, no?
I mean, I could see it.
Yeah?
I think I would definitely feel
I wouldn't want to
because
do it.
like that's kind of vulnerable, you know?
It is.
So like if you're able to do it and no one's judging you, it's like you feel more like safe.
Yeah, exactly.
I think. So I could see that being team bonding.
It's like before Eve ate the apple, it's like there was no like shame, you know? But after she ate the apple, it's like, you know what I mean?
I know the story, but you sound very
It just sounded different.
philosophical, you know? Like you sound a little bit old. It didn't sound your age, that's all.
Wow, Jojopyun. Why do you guys call me Jojopyun, by the way?
Feel like
Berserker always calls me that. Why do you call me Jojopyun?
It's Korean, bro.
Oh, really?
Pyani.
Pyani.
Hey, what do your friends call you? Did they call you Joseph?
Yeah. I mean, they used to call me JP because it was my initials.
JP.
But they actually call me Jojo now. Some of them call me Jojo
JP is
now.
Johnny, no? Yeah, JP is Johnny.
Yeah.
JP.
Johnny Pilates.
There's 2 JPs now.
True.
None of them call you JJ? Joseph June?
No.
It's pretty good.
Actually, that sounds better than JP.
Yeah.
JJ?
I'm gonna start it. I'm gonna start the trend.
I like it.
I don't like it.
Wait, what are you gonna use?
Because I had a friend in middle school.
I'm gonna start calling Jojo JJ. Jojo JJ?
Yeah! We're back for LCS Week 2. I'm happy to be bringing you the action to kick off the first 2 games. Kangas back in the arena. Kaz with Kobe for the first time. Let's go.
Let's get it. Super excited for this one. Cloud9. Can they keep the super team together?
Can they keep it? Can their on-stage bathroom break lore get as deep as Skibbity Toilet lore is the real question here. That's the question on my mind. While we wait for Champions Select to get underway, though, Kobe, you actually had a chance to catch up with both of the coaches earlier today. So let's take a look.
Hello. I'm here with the coaches of Cloud9 and Dignitas before the big matchup. Mithy, Anatron, good luck today, first of all. I've heard a lot of rumors that Cloud9, this super team, are unbeatable. What are your opinions on this so far?
I mean, they were solid week 1, I think, so we'll see how they continue the week 2. We're here prepared for them. Hope they're prepared for us too.
Heard you guys were doing pretty well in scrims yourself. How's the confidence of the team?
I mean, eXyu kind of leaked already how we were doing last week in scrims. But I think we are working towards our weaknesses. We're a fresh new team, so we're trying to become better at planning inside our game. So, yeah, this week is also another test to see if we manage to grow throughout this weekend.
Do you think Dignitas are going to give you any problems today?
Most definitely. I mean, I don't think there's any team in the league that is like guaranteed gonna do really poorly against us. I don't necessarily think we're doing too well in scrims. I think the guys have the stage experience and that helps, but anything is possible.
I heard that you guys have not lost to them since their team was called Clutch Gaming 5 years ago. It was an 18-game winning streak for you so far. You weren't even here on Cloud9 for that entire time. Does that change your answer at all?
Oh, that's pretty crazy. I mean, I definitely don't want it to be today that we lose that streak, right?
No pressure. We have to end sometimes some streaks, right? So that's what we're here for.
Is there anything in particular that you've been trying to, specifically coach the guys on or get better at?
Obviously, we came into week 1 and we saw some shakiness when it comes down to our mid game. So we have been working a lot towards that this week. The whole idea is, as Smith said too, right, that they have the stage buff. So we're trying also to give that stage buff also to our players. So we try to become more stable as a team overall.
How are you guys approaching playing on the live patch and there being so much less time to try and figure out if something new and broken has emerged?
It's complicated because there's also a hotfix halfway through the week as well. What I've been trying to do with the guys is structure the week so that we have 2 days to try things, 2 days to, keep doing something that we tried and we thought was good, or to just, go back to what we think is okay. So it's just a little balance, we're trying our best. It's still unexplored territory.
How come nobody's playing Champs Queue on Monday, Tuesday? That's the only place you can play the new patch.
I think a lot of people are just playing 1v1s and stuff as well.
Yeah. Fair enough. I knew that wasn't going to get a big answer. That's all the time we have. Let's get into the game. Or get back to the casters. I'm not sure what we were going to toss to there. So, yeah, it's back to us.
You toss to yourself.
I just want to thank again Mithy and Anatron for giving us a little bit of time pre-draft, by the way. Very excited to see what they have acquired in the draft.
And talking about that, what do we expect to see? You didn't get a lot of information out of them, but you personally, what are the changes on this patch you think are going to show up today on the
I know coaches are never going to give you, especially now that we're on live patch, they're never going to give you exactly any strats ahead of time or what they think is OP. But there's a lot of things on this patch that I'm excited for as possibilities. Like the changes to Twisted Fate to allow AD Twisted Fate builds, as well as, some little bonuses there just for his regular build anyway.
Do we still see the Udyr? Because a lot of Udyr counters got bumped. Yeah?
Udyr is... It just has so much lane presence, and it led to...
Pigragas, yep, there we go, that's one of them.
It led to, in our first week, a lot of our players I thought were playing Udyr quite well, where, Impact and Fudge especially, you are proxying the wave, you are going and invading enemy jungle, you are causing so many problems for the opponent super early on. Capper Kobe still going strong. Travis Gafford, I hope you're watching. Udyr causes so many problems, it's not just the single lane opponent, it's for the entire team, it's for the jungle control, it's for the objective control here.
Especially when somebody like Bwipo is the one piloting it, because he looked so good on that pick.
And Fudge specifically, I want to call him out because Cloud9 played 2 games of the Udyr, so it's a good point that you bring up. And Fudge had the highest forward percentage of any player in the LCS of all teams of any position because he's playing Udyr. It was over 70%.
Forward percentage.
Forward percentage. That's time spent across the halfway point of the map.
You spent more time on the other side of the map, the enemy side of the map.
And that's how you're supposed to play the Udyr. So into this one, Dignitas, good ban. We spent a lot of time talking about it, and they were listening.
I think it makes sense to take it away. Both of these top laners would like to pull that out, but Cloud9 do get that first pick. And a lot of people are saying Udyr is a premier blind pick, so blue 1, it is highly likely that they would lock that in. Other ones, I mean, we still see the Azir on the table. We still see Orianna on the table. Some other highly prioritized picks as we see a lot of Cloud9 fans in the audience. Let's do a quick poll here. Cloud9 fans, where are you at? Make some noise. Okay, that's a very loud crowd. Now, everybody, you might not realize this, but you don't have to be a Dignitas fan. If you are, I'm going to ask you to make some noise. But if you're rooting against Cloud9, make some noise.
Whoa.
That wasn't as loud. No, it wasn't as loud. Cloud9 fans are dominating the stands.
Yeah. Now we don't know how many of those were Dignitas fans and how many of them were Cloud9 haters, though.
Do you want me to go back and do it again?
No, I think we're good. But they're starting the Cloud9 fans real young. Love to see it in the audience. Let's get into the picks here, though. My Twisted Fate, I was so excited for. Kangas is also banned. I'm very sad there. They'd go with bottom lane preference, though, for Berserker.
Same with the Karma ban, but it frees Kalista. We finally get it was 100% banned last week.
And it's very exciting, too, because right now, you can play bottom lane either way. You can play it to win lane, play for plates, play for bottom lane control, play for heavy dives, and constant ganks, or you can play to scale. There are some really strong scaling options right now for bottom lane, too. Kalista, my preference, though, I love playing for bottom lane plates, playing for aggressive bottom lanes, and that also probably means that we will get melee engaged supports to go along with it.
And playing for the dragons, too. I've been noticing a general trend. I'm favoring the dragon sagging. I am a fan of the grubs, or as my good friend and NACL caster Joe, she likes to call them, the Twitch chatters. But I do think that dragon stacking is the name of the game, especially if you are going for an earlier game composition. Aphelios with Azir, though, seems like Dignitas are kind of doubling down on more of that late game scaling option.
Yeah, Azir is for sure, to me, going to remain the most prominent blind pick mid laner, answer mid laner. It's just does so many things so well, and specifically for Dignitas. If you remember last week, Dove had an almost game-saving quadra kill play in the game that they actually ended up losing versus Energy, but it was a very, very big performance from him, so I'm not surprised to see Dignitas try and snap that back up after the Kalista was already given over. Rumble is interesting because we are on live patch, so this is the first time we get to flex some live patch changes here. Rumble was nerfed pretty hard, but then they hotfix buffed back some of it because the nerfs were quite big in taking down, the magic resist reduction from the harpoons and a bit of the damage as well. So then they ended up hotfixing back a little bit of the damage.
Still one of the best champions to benefit from the item changes, though. The AP items that Rumble can build are so efficient for that champion. Renata locked in as well, though. I love to see that paired with the Kalista.
And a lot of the players, too, are kind of confident still playing Rumble because of the removal of the magic resistant shard. For stat shards, which was stat shard changes were quite big too, even though there is a nice health option that replaced it.
True.
But yeah, I 100% agree. I love the Kalista Renata. Very, very aggressive. It also allows you to pick some aggressive junglers too, and Cloud9 saving their jungle pick till 4-5 here. So Dignitas, they're going to try and ban a little bit for Blaber here. It's very difficult to ban Blaber out, but they're going to go after, the Jarvan and some of these champions that will make life hard for an Aphelios.
Yeah, I want to see aggressive early game junglers from Blaber. I've talked to some of the challengers, supports, and AD carries. They've referenced how red side, very diveable early on. Milio can help with that, but if you get something like a Xin Zhao J4, which is banned already, so I'm kind of expecting the Xin Zhao ban here too.
Yeah, Xin also works so well with the Renata.
Yeah, you love getting buffed up by her, but anything that can go early bot and dive that turret, it is up, though. They're banning the Akali instead, which might signal that eXyu wants it.
So there's a lot of Azir answers. The Akali one is definitely like a Jojo special. Jojo loves playing assassins, but there are plenty of other Azir answers. I know everybody's going to go to sleep if they hear Corki, but Corki is an option. Nico is a much more exciting, and to me, a much more fitting one, because if you are looking for early game action, Nico as a mid laner brings so many setup possibilities, and if you are going to go with an AD offensive jungler, does pair really well there. So Cloud9 could think about something with Nico answering into the Azir mid, plus an aggressive dueling jungle there for Blaber. Meanwhile, Dignitas, the Maokai has been very, very prominent in LCK and in LPL. Mostly tank builds, though we did just see a full AP Maokai build as well pop up. I think eXyu will be a full tank build.
You never
They've
know.
got plenty of DPS.
You never know.
He's going to go full tank.
So what I'm identifying from Dignitas early, and I want to know if you agree with me here, is that they are playing more for a slower early game, just get to their core items and then look to fight. Maokai can help control the jungle pathing, but it can depend on what Cloud9 lock in here.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of the two options that we were looking at before at the very beginning of Champ Select, and Dignitas much more the scaling side of it. Cloud9 are going to be the ones trying to make early moves, trying to be in the driver's seat. Nocturne Orianna combo, I know your eyes got real big when you see that. That's a combo as old as League itself almost.
It's a really good ball
fun
delivery system, but it does pivot away from that early game jungler that's going to look for the level 3, level 4 dive, right? I mean, when I think of Nocturne, I think of you want to just farm up until level 6 and then make action happen.
And that's kind of Blaber's signature, is efficient farming and still getting some, you know, I guess lane time. It's not always ganks, but lane pressure, helping people push out, while still being very efficient with the experience gain for jungle. And you're right, you definitely do have to do that with Nocturne to be effective later on. But top side there with the rumble into an Ornn, you're going to have a pushing lane. You're going to have a very volatile aggro side from Cloud9 to give Blaber a lot of control to work with. And on the bottom side as well with Kalista Renata.
Yeah, I was listening in on Raz and Emily talking about the top lane tank meta and how Udyr K'Sante seemed like the premier tank top laners. They are banned out, so I guess we're going a little bit further down the pocket. But you know what this allows, Kobe? That AP Maokai. We have a tank. Look, it's right there.
I am going to be with you for now because I'm so excited. And I will be there to let you down gently when it becomes a full tank mount.
You want to put any bets on it? Any stakes?
Sure.
Yeah.
I got this cute little cat sticker from FlyQuest.
Oh, that's incredible.
I could bet you that.
All right, let's see if I have any. I got a pen. You want a pen?
Sure, I'll take your pen.
Perfect. Well, the pen versus sticker, as if it goes for AP or tank Maokai. Cloud9 taking on Dignitas. Cloud9 looking like heavy favorites early on in the spring split. Dignitas stepping up to swing at the would-be champs. Game 1 of week 2 starts right now.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in now and also you didn't get to hear the coach interview beforehand, we dropped a little stat. It has been an 18-game win streak for Cloud9 versus the Dignitas organization. And actually the last time that Dig won, they were clutch gaming. It was before the acquisition of the slot. So it has been a while since Cloud9 has lost.
What do we think here about the odds? If we look at the draft, if we remove nameplates, because obviously a lot of people say just the players on Cloud9. We'll give them a favor as we get our first pause. Let's go. Perfect time to talk about this.
I mean, let's throw up a poll then. See what
that's
chat
a good
thinks. We could do a post-draft poll.
Do we just have control over that? We can just ask
No, but we can make demands and then,
we're live. They can't stop us.
Yeah, so,
exactly.
Throw up a poll there. Let's see after the draft because it depends how you think this game is going to go. Do you, Kangas, think that Cloud9 are going to get some mid-game plays off the ground here? Do you think that Berserker and VULCAN are going to have a strong lane phase? Or do you think Dignitas will be able to outscale them? They do have two, which quite possibly very, very solid tanks in the front line with the Ornn and the Maokai, and you get to hand out Ornn upgrades later, and then you've got Aphelios buffed up by Milio and Azir. So you're just creating this dreamland of late game here.
The perfect team fight. You got Milio with the Aphelios and everything.
The 5-on-5 is just beautiful.
If we get to that point for Dignitas, if we can get to that late game state, I heavily favor their comp, but it's about getting there. You need to have that priority in your lanes, and you need to be able to absorb these Nocturne ganks, because if he gets that first gank off, that second gank off, and gets the team snowballing, especially that Kalista. I've seen Kalista do disgusting things in Champs Queue. There's a reason she was 100% banned in week 1 in the LCS, and I had on my bingo card that she actually makes it through a pick ban. I think Raz had it also, so I guess some of us are already getting some early bingo picks here, but that I think is so powerful that I have to lead in Cloud9's way.
All right. I think I'm kind of on that side as well. Blaber, I'm kind of expecting the experimental Hexplate Nocturne rush. It got a little bit of a buff where you adjusted 5% of the attack speed away from just being on the proc on your ultimate into just being permanent, which is quite nice for the Nocturne. So then you also get a bunch of ability haste for your ultimate and a lot more attempts at Nocturne ult shockwave combinations. We're back into it. It was just a little audio fix. Don't worry.
Happy to get us back in quickly, not that long of a pause. And also, Raz, it doesn't count for your bingo card because it was not game 2. But unfortunately, I said no pauses, so that's an early loss.
We got some competitive bingo players.
We do. Oh, I'm keeping track, at least the ones I remember. We did see some action happen early on. Cloud9 looked for an invade. It was scouted by the wards. Dignitas are investing a lot of early wards to spot this out, which means that they won't have them for a level 2-3 gank. But with a Nocturne, not to be expected that he'll go for anything crazy.
Yeah. Definitely looking for top side down clears. eXyu's making a really early move though. Look at Maokai right now. Wants to come over and disrupt this Nocturne farming from the very beginning. Smite used on blue buff, so if eXyu finds him, he can yoink the Gromp.
I like this
Easy
look.
Smite.
The invade. eXyu getting up in Blaber's business.
I love this because junglers, in pro play for sure, almost never, get leashes, and so you're pretty much always smiting on your buff.
Yeah.
And so eXyu, really smart play here, comes in, saves his smite by starting his own Raptors, because the Q from Maokai has such a big damage modifier on jungle camps. You obliterate AoE camps. And so he just does a smiteless Raptor camp and to come over and a free yoink on the Gromp. The best type of smite fight, Kangas, is when your opponent does not have smite.
Good start for eXyu. Puts Blaber behind that level 6 Nocturne. Also, shout out to Twitch chat. I know we wanted to see their thoughts on the comps, but they did vote to watch mid lane a little closer this game. So we're going to be paying more attention to Dove and Jojopyun and the riveting Azir versus Orianna matchup.
Or as his team calls him, Jojopyuni. I thought that was pretty funny in the comms listening that we got on the Cloud9 side. This Cloud9 organization, like, the brand was founded on 2 things. It was winning and it was on memes. And I love that throughout the history of this organization, they have really been able to keep that up. And the good nature here seems to be still true. Adding Jojo to this super team roster.
He's not the smallest on the team though, right? Just like physical size wise. We got to come up with other ones.
I think it's an in-game.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough.
It's meant for the moments where he does a little bit of a too aggressive of a play, maybe.
The JoJo moments as they're starting to be penned.
Blaber got his revenge on the Gromp as well. So
good call.
Gromp for a Gromp, Kangas. It has come full circle. The bottom lane helps him get that back. Nobody gets the better of Blaber's camps.
Yeah, props to Blaber for bouncing back here. He's actually ahead now in the jungle clear of 2 full camps. And getting towards that level 4 here rapidly. Has nothing to farm. Okay, no, now he's got the Krugs down on the bot side here.
So I also do want to examine a little bit more this term of the super team for Cloud9, because one of the worries that, even though we're joking about the nicknames for JoJo, people are always worried when you see a team that is so highly talked up, how are these all-stars going to integrate? JoJo, the star in his own right, in the LCS for the mid lane, Blaber as well, 2 really big stars. Is somebody going to have to give ground when they join the same team? Can they both be the most fed? Well, in week 1, Kangas, yes, they can be. I looked it up. They were number 1 and number 2 in gold difference.
Ooh, and they're trying to get number 1 first blood in the bot lane here. Flash Ignite early from VULCAN. Get summoner spells out of Tomo.
All right, that's what we want to see. Aggressive bottom side. No summoner spells on the Aphelios. Definitely a prime target. But this is what I was talking about. Blaber and JoJo, both number 1 for their roles. And I believe they were number 1 and number 2 over any player at all in the entire LCS. So the super team was working pretty well in week 1.
And they had to go against energy too. So it's not like it was an easy week for them, right? Certainly. Oh, are we diving here? I think we're going for it. VULCAN and Berserker want this real bad. Barely get Tomo. They will trade VULCAN for it. Isles, how bad do you want this? Gets flash out of Berserker. Aggressive from the Cloud9 bot lane.
Yeah, they do the dive while Blaber's taking grubs on top side too. With the knowledge there from Maokai's location. I like the confidence. VULCAN does sacrifice himself. It's still worth it to take down the Aphelios to make sure the Aphelios doesn't get to CS that little bit of extra minion wave that was under tower there, even though it is a 1-for-1. Now, though, maybe there's a possibility to try and punish the Cloud9 bottom lane. VULCAN has no sums. Berserker has no flash. He does still have the cleanse. So Maokai has to be cognizant of that when you go in for your W, and you usually try and move behind them for the route for the Q smash
probably
back.
have time for that.
Now your cleanse might be a little annoying, but there could be some options.
He is pathing bot side currently, so as we look at eXyu in the jungle, he's on the bottom half of the map as Berserker will get back into lane with the upgraded boots completed.
And as Twitch chat voted to watch mid lane, JoJo's got huge mid lane priority, pushing in another big wave here.
Oh, Berserker doesn't see eXyu here. One more minion to hit. He's getting aggressive onto Tomo. Berserker, this is not the time to go in. eXyu with the big punish. This run stack should not be enough to take down Tomo. He gets out flash from Isles. Isles actually gets the kill credit. Now VULCAN and Blaber are here to try and trade one back. Teleport in from Fudge. No, he just walked all the way down. Never mind. The Rumble actually picks up a kill.
That was still quite worth there for Dig because it cost them the roam here for Fudge. It means, oh, actually Rumble or Ornn didn't get. Oh, he got one turret blade. Okay. They got one turret blade on top side.
That's something.
I always like it when top laners do that play though that Fudge just did. You walk bottom lane so you don't have to use your teleport, and then you use your teleport to get back to top side.
Nobody's expecting the equalizer to go down during that skirmish. So nice look from Cloud9. They get the first dragon, level 6 for Blaber, and the early game also recovered from that early invade from eXyu.
All right, so I guess we take another look at how it started, and just keep your eyes on the mini-map is the important thing we're calling out, is the roam from Fudge. The priority that you get when you're Rumble versus a tank is usually best used by that type of play.
Back to live. We got the kill onto Dove already. Blaber making quick use of that first paranoia.
You love to see it. Blaber and JoJo working together. The Nocturne trying to get this Orianna accelerated. So in the hopes that they're going to have bigger shockwave plays later.
And Cloud9 getting the early lead over Dignitas. Something that I was curious how Dignitas would look in week 2. I put a lot of stock in their early Champs Q performances for these 5 players. As we get another look at the replay here, we're in the top 20 in Champs Q on the last patch. This is a new patch. Nice spell shield from Blaber as well there.
Yeah, you always have to be careful going for those low health attempts on players versus a Nocturne. Nocturne's favorite type of plays are, I'm still farming my jungle camps, I'm hovering around lanes to be ready for these counter gank opportunities, especially for the early ultimates, the high value plays there, really feeding right into the hands of Blaber.
And going back to the point that I was making there, I wanted to really judge Dignitas on this week and how they adapted to the new patch, what they looked like after all that experience on 14.1, because they were grinders in Champs Q, but now we get to see the reactive side of playing on the live patch, and so far, Cloud9 are getting the better of them. Dignitas looking a little out of their depth here.
Yeah, and this Dig comp that they drafted is so stock standard and scaling. It's not a lot of ooh, exciting new patch changes. They did ban out some of the new patch things, targeting that Twisted Fate and not wanting Cloud9 to use that one on them. So I guess that can count as some defense on the new patch. We get some new picks
to the Aphelios. The Kalista finally out of the permaban status. So it looks different enough, but you're right. It's not the big reactions to 14.2 in this game, number 1. But it is a big performance from Cloud9. If we're looking at their next decision tree here, Grubs have spawned. I'm expecting them to try and get Prio and go around that objective.
Yep. Blaber's doing just that right now. Shout outs to VULCAN. Ooh. 347 LCS games.
I love the fine print. Passes Huni for 22nd most all time. Yeah! Let's go.
All right, here's our Grub fight. Grubs round 2. Remember, Blaber got all 3 of the first ones. So this is for Cloud9 Grub dominance.
Just getting one more of these would feel fantastic. Dignitas do not have mid push, so they're just going to walk away and give the Grubs to Cloud9. This is all objective control all day for the boys in blue, as Cloud9 will get their dragon and 6 Grubs to their count.
Oh, man.
Oh, Dove goes for the solo play on JoJo. Flash out from the Orianna early. And Shockwave use, I don't think it's going to mean much. Yeah, just a trade of ults, but JoJo will be flashless for the next couple minutes.
Yeah, I mean, he did see it coming and good reaction flash under tower, but still, your cooldown for your flash much, much longer. So Dove doing step number 1 of what you have to accomplish here in the Azir matchup and using your attempted sweep in order to get that big cooldown first.
Ooh, VULCAN looking for his own flash play onto Dove right there. The roam mid lane. Good reaction time from both mid laners. But just as we were saying, it's an advantage now for Dove. That advantage is gone.
It's like, genius move from Jojo there to call over his support and even up that.
Hey, I'm down Flash. You need to trade Flash for the mid laner now.
Yeah, pretty good
calling
stuff.
me Jojopyun.
The experimental exploit for Blaber has been finished though, so he's got that ultimate ability haste now for his next activation of the ult right on time. And so next time Jojo's Shockwave does come up, Nocturne's going to be ready to deliver it, and it does look quite scary for Dove, for Dignitas.
And we haven't seen the Paranoia gone down for a while. It will be up for the next Dragon, which is up in under a minute here. So Cloud9, it's a pretty stock standard play. Push bot lane, push mid lane, group up at the Dragon. Really hard for Dignitas to approach unless eXyu can get there first and drop the saplings down, which so far he has not been able to do. There is more vision control from Cloud9 around the area, so I'm expecting Dignitas to just try and keep scaling, just give up another objective.
Yeah, Fudge doing some more roaming, by the way, keeping up his forward percentage on the enemy side of the map. VULCAN gets a little bit pinned against the wall here as he comes back down from his warding duties, his little adventure, but only a couple of 100 HP loss, nothing too big.
Tomo and Isles, I guess, didn't have enough information as to where everyone was. There's always the threat of the Nocturne ulting in if you try and get more aggressive there.
And of course, you know, you've got the Kalista ult that you have to worry about. VULCAN gets to be so aggressive as a support with that safety there. So trying to lure them in, trying to bait them out from under their tower.
Okay, we are back into a state, though, where bot lane's pushed in. Mid lane hasn't gotten that control yet, but Dragon is on the map. So watch Cloud9 and how they want to approach this. Now let's see how Dignitas respond. Right now, they're still hovering, so it seems like they want to contest. They're TPing. We're just engaging. In on the Blaber. He gets the spell shield off. Twisted Advance goes forward. VULCAN does not have the flash, but there's that Kalista ult to save him. And Cloud9 disengage. Dove's over the wall, though. They're looking for Berserker. They don't have vision in the pit, so Berserker does not know that Dove was right there. I think that's enough from Dignitas, so they just throw all their ults out. We have the team fight comp. We bully them off the Dragon.
Yeah, the only thing left for them now is get somebody back topside to deal with the pushing Rumble, and that is a successful move here for Dig to at least be able to get one Dragon for themselves super early on. That allows you so much more time scaling later. The only problem is they did give up 6 grubs, so Fudge is going to push very quickly here.
I was noticing that. You know, he did a lot of damage to that turret with the extra grubs assistance. And yeah, 3 plates to his name. Has the teleport still. So Cloud9, while they do give the Dragon over, I don't know. Do we think this is rough for their scaling and what their team comp wants? Like, would we rather them have that, or is it okay that they give over one of the early Dragons?
I mean, I kind of like getting, especially the Mountain one, a little bit of extra resistances. They have 2 massive tanks here. Sorry to spoil, but the Maokai, of course, is going to go with the full tank build.
I did notice. I wasn't going to mention it until
he's doing the more efficient build, by the way, because Bambi Cinder is most of a Sunfire Cape. Like, that's basically the item.
Yeah.
So he's going to go into a super early Frozen Heart. I absolutely love that because the attack speed aura is very good versus Kalista and Nocturne.
Got slightly nerfed, but like not.
Yeah, I mean 100 gold, 100 gold more expensive. Oh no, I'll get it a little bit later. But
hey, as a support main, you feel that. But Cloud9 are feeling another objective for themselves. They pick up the Herald uncontested. They've only given up 1 Dragon so far. No turret has fallen yet, but we're past the point where they have the plates to farm. So wherever that Rift Herald goes is most likely going to be where the first turret falls.
Yeah. And I guess the other side of that question that you asked earlier is then going to be, well, how strong really is Rumble going to be with all of this extra turret plate money that they also gave up in going for the bottom side play to get the early Dragon and get them stopped stacking there? Because Fudge, he just completed his Leandry's on back. This is a big power spike, Leandry's and the Sork shoes for the penetration here. So we'll see how much damage he can really do with that influx of gold.
Rich has the Rookrun though, so he will be very tanky against this Rumble in particular.
Yeah, definitely going to want to do that damage to somebody else.
Yeah.
the
I'm probably looking at Tomo, Dove, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Even eXyu, who has no magic resist yet, so.
Yeah.
Pretty juicy. But the bigger thing also is that they just have the ability to control these waves still with their early item buys. That means that they can keep pushing. Fudge has been very active on the map. We've seen 2 instances where he gets out of that lane and actually does affect somewhere else.
Yeah, definitely has kept up the roaming, trying to use his lane priority for the benefit of the rest of the squad. Also one of the big parts of why they got to 6 scrubs without that extra conflict. And Blaber going to use the Rift Herald. Now you definitely want to always drive your Rift Herald if you have 6 scrubs. Because you get the extra Void Mites for the extra grubs that you've done here. So you see the giant family.
That's a lot. Whew. Also, we see Dignitas grouping up to defend the turret. Wow, it doesn't actually go down.
Yeah, the flame thrower gun here for Tomo is quite good at killing off the Void Mites. Sim and Dove were able to take down Shelly's whole family.
Oh, man. Why'd you have to work?
All the little babies.
Oh,
Are you in the camp of calling them Kevins or Eddies?
This is my thing. So I think both are good options. I heard very early on that they could be called Garys, and the reason I like Garys, because Grubs, Garys, Herald, Harrys, Baron, Berries. Hear me out, you know? It's kind of got like a rhyme scheme.
Got some good flow
no
there.
one's going to buy into that because it means you have to change names of the other ones, which are much more established. So I still like Twitch chatters. Yeah, they celebrate, they run, they hit the turret.
They multiply, all the Void Mites come out. Yeah. Okay.
They cheer for the team that's ahead.
Yeah. All right, Rich, despite the Kanik Rookern being picked up, still taking a beating under tower, and Blaber's on the way. So looks like they are going to continue to pressure this point on the map.
Blaber's thinking about a potential dive. It would be really hard to dive an Ornn. I don't think this is the play, especially with all the magic resist that he has, so wise to just back off there.
They were also kind of looking towards mid, where Tomo and Isles were hovering. It was a nice little move here, and it was warded by Cloud9. Tomo and Isles were able to push out the mid lane, and then they as a duo, hovered up about halfway or a quarter of the way towards top lane. And that threat, like you're saying, it's going to take a long time, even if you could pull off the kill onto Ornn. And by that time, if the Aphelios gets there...
Speaking of a kill, Ornn going for the solo kill on Fudge, flash used. That's a pretty big advantage for Dignitas. Now, at least Fudge didn't use the equalizer, though. Dragon's coming up, he has the teleport, so we're kind of prepping for this next objective here.
Yeah, we'll see about that if the flash gets punished, because right now, Rumble does so much damage, but doesn't have any of the defensive capabilities to keep him safe, so maybe it will be a super big advantage coming towards here.
It means that your equalizer has to be that much better. You can't really get away with a poorly placed equalizer when you don't have the flash in the Rumble, because if you run up, you're probably just going to die.
Yeah, some of the best Rumble plays are like, you know, getting your flame splitter on and overheating and flashing on somebody, murdering them. So we'll see if Rich not having the Ornn ultimate is going to be worth Rumble not having it.
Blaber, they got the combo, the equalizer on top. Doesn't actually get that much damage down. Berserker gets the first kill on the Dove, though. Traded back. eXyu burned down to a crisp. But the engage! Tomo's popping off in the fight! He gets the double kill as Fudge and Jojo finally take him down. But it did a lot of work for Dignitas. The rest are in full retreat. Isles splashes away. That could have gotten much worse.
Yeah, I guess they didn't feel the pain of not having the Rumble flash there. Fudge actually got Azir shuffled in and was in there in melee range, roasting them down. But Tomo tried to make a big play, went for Berserker, got the kill onto him. If it wasn't for this good start for Cloud9, where you see them absolutely destroy Dove, even though he's able to get his ultimate off, and it does, you know, net them too, it is still going to be Cloud9 with control of the map afterwards. And so by the time we get back to live, I'm pretty sure we'll see that they have been able to pick up the dragon, or at least rotate over to it. Oh, they didn't get to go.
Not yet.
Didn't get to go do it, even with the Leandri's Rumble. So they rotate the Rumble to topside, who has teleport.
True.
So Fudge is going to try and get this top tower while the dragon is started up, and they do have an option of teleporting him in.
He won't have equalizer, though. We will have the paranoia up again because of Blaber picking up that early hex plate, but they're not going to contest. This is the second dragon for Dignitas. Cloud9 are opting for the gold on the map instead. They are getting ahead sizably in gold, 4,500, but they still need to keep the pressure on, because the later this game goes, the better Dignitas' comp is, and I don't see dragon stacking as a win condition. So now it's all about the turrets. Now it's all about actually getting into the base of Dignitas.
Yeah, and they do have a lot of turret pushing power with these 6 scrubs, so
true.
You know, maybe that will be their avenue here. But Dignitas, even though it is 3.6 thousand gold the lead now after the bottom tower is traded here by Rich, Dignitas with a couple of dragons for themselves and the scaling nature of the composition, actually looking pretty decent.
I'm not hitting the panic button yet, but if we get to 30 minutes, I think that's when we start to tap it. because Cloud9 still want to keep the pace moving faster with the composition that they have, and they do have the ability to do so. I'm happy that they have focused on those grubs because they can take the turret so fast.
And then you're always going to be looking at these 2 Dignitas carries. When you're running a 2-threat team, both of those carries positioning is so critical, and you know that a Nocturne Orianna combo is going to come through.
Jojo's got flash. He has to use it early. eXyu with the Nature's Advance. Twisted Advance. Gets onto Jojo. That's the teleport coming out. Now we got to kill Jojo fast here, Dignitas. If we want the play to work. Fudge shows up with the equalizer down. Jojo's taking a lot of damage. eXyu with the kill credit. Isles and Rich are here as well. Paranoia used. We're not playing appealing for Dove yet. He tried to appeal for himself, but Blaber flashes forward and will equalize the kills. Blaber saving the play for Cloud9.
Teleport from Fudge and the ultimate in from Blaber to go get the counter kill there onto Dove, and they do one better. They take down eXyu, they take down the enemy jungler, so Cloud9 are on Baron.
And we don't have the call the Forge got from Rich. We do not have Tomo in the neighborhood. I do not see a world where Dignitas can actually contest this, unless just the threat of the Ornn is enough. They have the Ren stacks. Cloud9 are not taking the bait. They say keep DPS on the Baron. We will get the objective. We have another teleport coming in as VULCAN hits the ultimate onto Isles and Rich. Dignitas might be able to get their members out, but they will not stop the Baron. Cloud9 will pick up the Red Bull Baron buff.
What a play. In the end, it turns out so beneficial for Cloud9, with Dignitas going for the chase onto Jojo on top side. And even though they get him and they get the flash, the rewards are so big for Cloud9 because of the turnaround.
I want us to watch Rich here. There's a very important thing that he does where he angles his ultimate. I think it might be because of the paranoia. I want to see how close he is, because the lights go out, and it seems good for Dignitas to start off, but then watch Dove, watch Rich. Yeah, I mean, if he had angled that onto Blaber, I think the Dove probably lives.
Yeah, kind of hard here with the Nocturne ultimate. It's one of the like unseen benefits there.
It's tough to know if he could even see it.
Yeah. But grouping up there, Fudge all smiles after the turnaround because it was looking a little dicey, but good instant teleport in there from Fudge, and then Blaber getting in. The experimental Hexblade extra move speed plus the flash, allowing him to close that distance and finish off the kill onto Dove.
This is why I love Nocturne so much on this patch. It feels like he just gives so much for the team. You can play for the early ultimates and try and punish lanes that are on weak side, but also around these types of moments in the game, especially if you have a lead, it feels better. But you can just make a lot happen in these chaotic moments.
Plus, he is electrocute Nocturne here instead of the normal lethal tempo. So he's like explosion Nocturne if the overlay is correct here. With the electrocute. Didn't even notice that one at the very beginning because lethal tempo is just usually the go-to.
And the double spell shields too with the build, so it's gonna be hard to actually lock him down when he does ult in. Speaking of, we're popping the paranoia yet again. eXyu, you built tank, but not tanky enough. Has to flash away. It's now Blaber. Oh! The shockwave combo from Cloud9 gets everybody from Dignitas, but Tomo still outputting a lot of damage. Not gonna be enough as Blaber goes on a killing spree. In the middle of what could be the game-deciding fight.
Oh, man. That is such a critical one, too, because it was a huge Nocturne Shockwave combo. Yeah. And then Blaber also got bailed out with the Renata bailout there. He revived in the end. So this fight is a huge win for Cloud9. We'll see. We'll see until we get some more information here.
And Tomo had to flash away. He was very low health. I don't see a world where Dignitas can try and equalize that fight. So unless it's something that is, you know, a legit bug that happened, something that we have to go back, this could just be the deciding moment in the game. Because if you win this fight as Cloud9, you get at least like the majority of Dignitas members.
They've got Baron buff, so
that should turn into an inhibitor.
I mean, look at the minion waves here. Minion wave on top side is very close to the outer turret, so and they've got a pushing one mid too. So minion waves, if they win this fight and complete it, which it very much looked like they had a huge advantage. They had eXyu down and Tomo down at the time of the pause, and Isles on about 50 HP. So he's probably down as well. Then it would be a really big push afterwards. But we will have to see what led up to this.
Yep, we're investigating right now. We'll let you know as we have information confirmed to us. But for now, it's looking a little like Cloud9's going to make it 19 games in a row versus Dignitas. Oh, we have a replay.
Yeah, so they're investigating right now. I did get an update. There's possible network issues they're looking at. So, yeah, that's definitely a bummer. Here's a look at how it started, though. As they move in to clear the ward, Blaber obviously is going to see the angle here with the fully grouped up Dignitas.
It starts with the tank Maokai doing the thing where you walk in, face check. He almost gets popped. And then Blaber, at first I was like, what's he doing? And then you remember, oh, there's an Orianna shockwave. Oh, yeah.
Juicy.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I saw the electrocute go off too. So it's definitely the electrocute. He got his passive AoE
what an
swipe.
Equalizer.
And then look, he gets the bailout kill as well when they take down eXyu. So Blaber's still up.
Oh, Tomo's even, he went down.
Tomo was dead. Isles looks like he's safe back there, but very low HP. And so that means they'll finish up probably the top side of the fight as well. But if it was a network issue,
it's tough to know. It's tough to know what the next steps are going to be. All we do know is that Cloud9 played that beautifully. The ultimate layering of Cloud9. I know that we're looking at the scaling of Dignitas' composition. That's what I was highlighting with the team fight. But the combo of Cloud9's comps, very satisfying to watch a team early on in the season. That was the question, right? There's so many leaders on this team, so many voices that feel like they're going to want to command a lot of the shot calling. What calls are they going to commit to? What are they going to go for? That was a beautiful play.
Yeah, nice chase there. After they got the big health lead since the Maokai face checked them and was chunked out. No ultimate, no flash on him. They were like, oh, perfect time. Go for the chase kill. Blaber got the perfect angle in there for the dream shockwave. And
does Blaber have his player of the week? Oh, now we just went away from it.
I was looking at the
week statue there?
I was looking at the different orientation of the monitors. Did you see, like, Fudge's is obviously he's a very tall guy, is super high up. But then we had the weird like lean back angle on Blaber's
I guess we can see that here too, Tomo.
Yeah,
he's getting a high monitor.
I was always told for ergonomics, you're supposed to have the top of your monitor slightly above your natural eye line.
Oh,
if
really?
You're just sitting.
There it is.
Yeah,
it is.
That's what I was looking at.
We got the statue. That's a pretty Chad move. We're facing off against each other on the stage now, and Blaber's got the player of the week statue staring down the opposition. Let's go.
That's a powerful statue.
I'm intimidated. And I'm far away, yeah.
He's screaming jungle diff right now.
He's screaming, I got double spell
but
shields.
But look at the monitor. Look at his monitor behind him. It's so tilted up. I feel like I only see stuff like that in FPS, games where they're getting real close to the monitor and stuff. Yeah. But it's like he likes to get over his game and have like a top-down god view.
It looks like it's gonna make the glare worse, like the angle. Yeah,
it's
okay,
like
let's get a look.
Lights.
Can we get like the POV? I don't know if that's too close to Blaber. Blaber, don't worry about it.
So it also, because the bottom is closer to you, puts your mini-map closer to you.
But it skews it. You never want to go top lane because it looks further away.
Oh no.
Yeah, sorry, Fudge. Fudge is coming to us.
Meanwhile, Fudge has got the super high up.
Wow.
Very tall.
That is a noticeable difference.
I mean, have you seen the stand up next to each other? It's a pretty noticeable difference.
We did the thing where like Fudge keeps getting bigger. What if we do like Fudge's monitor keeps getting higher? Yeah. Like every time when he comes in for a game, we raise it by half an inch, see like how long it takes him to notice. I'd be down for that.
I mean, it would be a good way to try and put some handicaps on Cloud9. If Cloud9 is just winning too many games, you got to start doing weird stuff to their setups.
We just add more.
All right, now we're taping one of your monitors to the ceiling. Good luck. You still gonna win?
Blaber, you got to go with only your right hand this time. We're gonna give you a mouse with a lot of buttons on it. We are still investigating the pause right now, so we'll have updates as they come in. But thank you for bearing with us, everybody. Thank you, everybody here at the Riot Games Arena, for bringing the energy in week 2. Yeah. Shout out to a sold-out crowd as well.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we had so many changes this year. Going to live patch, reducing time between games. But my favorite change is having a full audience again and having the energy of the audience during these games. It's night and day. It's just so nice to have the community back here with us.
My favorite part is how much noise they make when the pauses happen.
shout outs to Kadro. I heard my boy Mark is actually co-streaming for the first time. LCS as well. So
let's go.
Do
you think he can hear us
I knew
right
he
now?
would jump on board eventually.
Yeah, eventually. Is he listening to us?
I've been wearing him down, trying to pump up the LCS, and he finally came over.
Do we have a message for him? He'll have it a little delayed.
He's recognized LCS as the true gods of League of Legends.
Well, best in the West,
Yeah,
we did make it furthest at Worlds.
Well, honestly, I think being on the live patch is just such a huge draw as well. So everybody gets to see.
That was my most exciting change going in. I know there's a lot of change for this year, but that was the coolest one because we've never had this before. And I know that I've heard this said for years now that it would be so fun to watch the pros try something and then we get to experience that ourselves. And it's really the first time that we get that in a one-to-one type of environment.
I was the same way, and it's purely because I always love the hunt on new patches for what's going to be super OP. So you can abuse it and climb ranked yourself. So now we get to do that in pro play as well. It's definitely fun.
What have you been abusing lately?
I mean, Titanic Hydra, but because it's getting so widely abused now, I think it is going to be over nerfed. The auto attack reset being added to it has caused some unforeseen problems. Did you see the Caitlyn double headshot tech with it?
No.
Caitlyn players are now going Titanic Hydra because if you cast a headshot, if you cast a headshot before your headshot is over and you hit your auto attack reset for your Titanic Hydra, you'll do another headshot. It comes back out. So you get double headshot there. Plus,
nuts.
it makes you more tanky in the world where there's so much 100 to 0 time to kill has gone down, and AD carries are always worried about getting bursted. In the new season, it also does that for you. So now, great, my Titanic Hydra item that I was already using is probably going to get bacon.
AD carry players need less. And I'm going to keep saying that. I know that they whine, but we got to take away some of that from them. We are hearing from the refs that they have investigated the issues, and they have not noticed any actual problems. So we should be getting back into the game.
Okay.
Shout outs to Cloud9. They had a great play, and we will continue from where the game was paused as soon as the players are ready to get in. And it's looking like that could have been the end of the game because of how impactful and how many members of Dignitas they were able to catch. It felt like I was building up for us to get in, and now still checking out.
The classic. I see the readies going down in all chat, though, so I'm right there with you. I'll put mine in as well. Here we go.
Perfect.
I am ready. Boom. There.
And props to Dignitas for fighting their hearts out here. They were getting to the point where they were ready to go for those fights. I think that last instance was a huge punish for the Maokai walking in, but they were getting to that part of the game where it felt like they were coming on.
You kind of feel bad for them because, it's they were, like you're saying, scaling super nicely. Berserker's probably going to finish it off here. The only one to live is going to be Isles on, 25 HP or whatever there. So Cloud9 with the Baron buff, with the 6 Void Grubs, each person spawns 2 of these Void Mites, the little Kevins, and those also apply the extra damage to the tower. So your pushing power is insane.
They're trying to fully maximize this Baron buff. They're not everybody going down one lane. We take the mid inhibitor turret, we'll take the mid inhibitor, and we took the tier 2 top, and it looks like we had the full wave shoved in for the tier 2 bot lane. Divide and conquer. Cloud9 maximizing their gold. And let's get another look at the replay here. We already looked at it once, but it was so impactful that we got to break it down.
So eXyu walked up by that existing Cloud9 ward and then popping the sweeper, but that just leads to this. So anytime you're going to get the dream setup where everybody's grouped and you're running a Nocturne Orianna comp with a Rumble, that is your dream scenario. Rumble gets to lay the equalizer through a small jungle corridor. You already grouped up everybody with the Shockwave. It's just, that is the perfect type of fight for Cloud9. And now the gold lead is just astronomical. So
this is one of those ones that it's pretty rare to come back from. Cloud9 back to live here. Get onto the map and push in this bottom wave yet again.
They have, at least for the side of Dignitas, started handing out the Ornn items. I think we saw even earlier, Tomo's Infinity Edge was already upgraded. So their job remains the same here for Dig. It's all defense.
And we're just jumping right onto Tomo, the combo yet again, this time only onto the enemy AD carry. He's surviving for a while, but not long enough. Cloud9 pick off the Aphelios. That's probably the last bastion for Dignitas here as they will try and survive in the fountain. They're losing the front line. It's just Dove and Isles. And Dignitas seem to be falling. Cloud9 continue the win streak against this team. 19 in a row. We are cheering for him, but it is not going to happen today. Cloud9, ooh, nice look from Dove right there. Trying to end on a high note, but Cloud9 are just inevitable. Continuing their dominance of the LCS. Cloud9 will go 3-0.
The power of the Void in full effect. Cloud9 got all of the Void grubs. Yep. They got the Rift Herald, and they got the Baron. They collected every Void objective that there is to get in the game, and they did give up a couple extra dragons, but that's far gonna outweigh.
Which surprised me, but I love it though. I love being wrong, because I was looking at dragons as the win condition. I preferred teams that were stacking dragon early. Cloud9 says, no, we're gonna do it our way. We're gonna give up those early dragons. And I was getting worried, like, uh-oh, they're playing against the scaling comp. They're playing against the Ornn items that will come on eventually, and they're not going for the dragon soul win condition. They didn't need it. Cloud9, they played to the top half of the map, and they are rewarded.
All right, they keep up their winning ways. The Cloud9 super team remains intact. Obviously we had a bunch of extra Cloud9 stats, after week 1. It was only 2 games, but they were at the top of the charts.
Cloud9 looking like the team to beat still. But a reminder to LCS fans, Fantasy LCS is happening on Sleeper. It's not too late to sign up and start a league with your friends and then crush their dreams with your own LCS super team. You can head on over to sleeper.com or sleeper.app to give it a try. We're heading to a quick break before 100 versus NRG. But let's take a look at how Sniper's feeling headed into his second week of the LCS.
Everybody's eyes are on the top lane with Sniper after years and years of hype and people being like, when do we get to see this guy in LCS? The answer is now.
It is going to be Sniper coming in, Rivers diving.
They're sending it. Yon's the target here, and immediately they find him.
Can they actually lock him down and burst him down as Sniper chasing him? And it looks like Blaber's going to be gone. 2 kills, 400 piece.
Sniper, when you fight him, he's going to be in your face. He's not afraid to take a 1v1 to make a crazy play. Honestly, that's what you want as a rookie. You want to have those high highs. You want to have that aggressiveness because that's something that's really hard to learn. That killer instinct is something that comes innately, and you can kind of just learn the basics of the game afterward.
Sniper was so put on a pedestal by the community and by everyone, and I think a big part of my job has been taking him off that pedestal and humbling him. Sniper has really good intentions and he wants to work really hard, and sometimes he needs guidance and knowing what working really hard looks like. He takes it in really good spirit, and I think he's learning and improving a lot.
I really do want to be the best, and I'll do literally anything it takes to get to that point. My expectations are always high, and sometimes I reach those expectations, other times I don't. I just try and learn from it.
Me and Sniper actually had a conversation, and he was just telling me how much fun he's having learning new concepts and just learning how to play as a team. And I basically just told him just keep that mindset all the way through. I think if he just keeps on that momentum and growth, then sky's the limit.
I definitely feel like I'll be the rookie of the split, and just will let my actions speak for my words.
And Sniper's on to APA. The Zigs ain't gonna last long, and 100 Thieves just won the game.
You ready?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, just remember, stay in your lane, keep your vision up at all times. Time is gonna be everything here, so you don't want to go too fast, but you also don't want to be.
Hey, I got this.
Yeah, I think you do.
And Mark, thanks.
Whoa, hey, no, whoa, no. You're not taking my car. My Kia EV9? No way. No touching.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Hello, I'm here with the victorious C9 top laner, Fudge. I will say, I was expecting I had a whole list of Udyr questions, you know, prepped and ready for you, and then they banned it. So how happy are you that Udyr was banned?
I was very glad Udyr was banned. I'm sick of playing that champion. It's giga broken, and I think they also realized that there's not really a very good counter. And it's fun to play a new champion, but not when it's kind of not skillful, I guess. I was going to use a different word, but let's not use that word.
That was polite.
Yeah, I'm
good job.
being nice.
I think, so obviously today you brought up the Rumble. There were a few times where I noticed just really good coordination and overall look at the map, specifically, obviously when you're getting plates topside, when Dig decided to contest second Drake, and then when you came in on the bot side after reset.
Right.
So how is that stuff communicated, especially when you're on something like Rumble that does so well in side lanes?
I think it's a lot of practice and scrims, but it's also not necessarily Rumble specific. I think Rumble is one of the champions that roams very well and also has a lot of timers in lane, just because you win almost every single lane. You have so much wave clear, and your ulti's also just insanely good at killing bot laners. Like, for example, the level 6 timing when I ran bot lane, I think Berserker played terribly, but we ended up killing one guy, I guess, anyway. It's just a lot of like stuff you practice in scrims, understanding where you need to get vision, where you need to hold control of the map based on objectives, and which waves matter on the map and which waves you have to defend.
And then, again, I called out your Udyr just because I think the way you've used that champ is really impressive in coordinating with your team. What is your overall outlook? Because obviously, you want to show off your skill going into the season, after off-season. What's your overall outlook as a player, and what do you want to accomplish this split?
I felt like I kind of lost my touch in terms of laning phase since like late 2021. I felt like in late 2021, I was very good at understanding all the matchups. And going into this year, I realized that like throughout 2022 and 2023, I was playing laning phase really poorly, especially internationally. And that's my main focus going into this split, and sort of just pushing myself to look at matchups and understand all the matchups in the game. And even this game, to be honest, I think I played lane pretty poorly. I think I should have been a lot further ahead than I was, and I should have had a lot more time to help my team than I did. So it's a lot of work, but that's my main goal.
All right. Thank you so much for taking the time. We're going to kick it off with 100 Thieves versus NRG next.